First up, very proud to present the 60's creative director, Bob Levenson.
Hey, Bob.
I never did anything for 3 minutes. It's 5:30 now. It's 5:30 now, yeah. I used to have an office around here someplace. I think it was on the other side of that wall. I remember this room fairly well. It was always this size and shape. But, it was a long time when the screen was there. I could. But will I?
Can you?
I may never get up from this position. The screen wandered from one end to the other. So it's the 11th floor memorial boardroom in memory of where the screens were. Actually, there were 2 doors in here. There was a man who was the procurer of food and drink, whose last name I don't remember, but his name was Jacoba. And he used to bring us coffee in the morning. And he quickly distinguished between the New York Board of Directors, which was the domestic board, where there was cheese served, and the international board, where there were other things served. So we referred to them as the cheese board and the sugar board. There was a real distinction because the leftovers of the sugar board were much better than the cheese board. I still remember a lot of things, a lot of people, a lot of long shadows, most of whom aren't here anymore, which is sort of depressing. They could have been here and had all the fun on this miserable hot day that the rest of us have been having. I would ask only one thing of you. Don't tell me how great I am. And I will do you the same favor in return. Because after this length of time, we don't need that kind of bullshitty relationship.
Speak for yourself.
Right, I did.
Right. I still need it.
You still need it?
I still need it.
Can't get it here.
No, I know that. I'm trying.
I think one of the great questions that never really gets answered, and so I'll take what's left of my 2 minutes, is the question, what happened? Where did it all go? Where is everybody? Not necessarily dead or alive, but what happened? And I think I know what the answer is. I think it happened to me one day when Neil Austrian, who was a president, one of the many Bernbach presidents, we had 5 of them in 10 years, kind of low. And they all sat next to me. I wonder if there was an omen there. But Neil Austrian came around one day and said that he had discovered through deep and intensive research that most people who worked in the agency didn't really want to have the 10-year, 15-year, 20-year, 25-year awards. And those of you who remember, there was a pair of cufflinks from Tiffany, there was a Tiffany pen, there was a clock, Tiffany, and a 25-year watch. And it was Neil's decision that rather than have those mementos, he would give a block of lucite with the miniature version of the number of shares that you had. But funny is, nobody thought it was funny or even remarkable then. It wasn't until it was my turn to get the 25th year, and I really wanted that. I already had the cufflinks and the pen and the clock. And I was hanging around for the watch. And Neil came into my office and handed me a big block And this side, so cool. And inside was laminated the certificate. It said 25 shares of Doyle and Bernbach stock. So I did the only intelligent thing that I could do with them. I threw it at him. And I didn't miss him by much, but I missed him. And we sort of became permanent enemies. But I think the insinuation of things that were numerical instead of and on top of things that were emotional changed the place forever. And I've always been sorry about that and never really been able to explain it because people attribute different things to what happened to Doyle and Bernbach. And the popular one is Bill died. And Bill died, and that did make a substantial difference. And some other things that happened were always threats of being taken over by somebody, taking somebody over ourselves. There were a lot of scenarios, and they were all possibilities, although none of them actually until the very last one ever happened. But I got my watch. And when Bill died, his family asked me if I would do the eulogy for him, which of course I did. And that's not something you can say no to. And a day or two after the funeral, Evelyn, Mrs. Bernbach, called me and asked me to come up to her house for a drink and to say thanks for having done the eulogy. And she handed me the watch. And I didn't know that I was going to get the watch. I don't know how she knew that it was something that I wanted dearly to have. And sure enough, it says, going back 25 years with DDB, 1974. And so I wear it a lot of the time, even when I shower. I'm not supposed to do it. But it turned out to be a faithful companion. And all it took was one human being. And that was Evelyn Bernbach, who was probably not the most likely human being that you could think of to do a thing like that. She was kind of a tough one, but she did the right thing at the right time in a human way, and that's what happened to